Hey, let's talk about something real quick. So, first thing coming out, you got somebody that's really trying to change the story, flip the script when it comes to how they dealt with you or how they handled you. That's because things are getting tied up on this person. Whatever they did to you, they did to many others. Okay, so this message may not be for everybody, but whoever I'm speaking to, you were dealing with someone who had a lot going on, whether you knew it in the beginning or not. I'm feeling like you found out and then, did what you had to do. But this person is like they're trying to change the story around just so they don't have to face any consequences. Okay. So I'm feeling like this is someone you walked away from and they're trying to come to you, but they have a hidden agenda. Okay. They're not coming to you with good intentions. Okay, you may be trying to find inner peace. This may be a time to like balance and ground yourself. um and just remember that you don't have to abandon yourself to love somebody. Whoever this is very broken. Their heart is very broken, and they're trying to get back to you to balance the scales out. This is somebody who is almost like they want their own karma and their own justice, and for some reason they feel like they need you for that to happen. So they're expecting for you to be kind to them and nurturing to them. They may have fallen down in some way, shape, or form in their life, and they coming to you so that you can pick them back up again. Because it's going to change. I feel like it'll make them at least feel like they're not a horrible person. If they can still get you, nobody else will mess with this person. But it's like if they can get you to, then they can change the story around. Or like, let's say this was a relationship and you may have walked away from this person, but then you think about it, it's been a couple of weeks, a couple of days, or whatever the case may be. You let them back in, and now they leave you just so they can switch the story around and say how, you begged them to come back, and now they had to leave you high and dry. Whatever the case may be, like it's something like that going on because people may be judging them right now. I feel like when you walked out of their life, they started losing things. They started changing as a person. Because I feel like not many people have walked away from this person and they prided themselves in that. So it's like they want to come to you to like fear you back with them. But this person is coming up as a leader of some kind. And it's like their fear tactics aren't working on anybody. That's why they're losing a lot of things. This is slowly but surely, it's like a lot of things are slowly but surely slipping through this person's fingers. Whoever this is, they just want to disturb your peace. They want you to love them more than you love yourself. They want you to put them first. So, again, I'm talking to somebody who finally decided to choose themselves, even if this is family, friends, whatever the case may be. You started being selfish with yourself. And this person wants you to go back to self sacrificing. They don't benefit from this new version of you. They get nothing from it. They don't want you to love yourself, they want you to love them. Yeah, so they want to drag you down with them. They want to tug on your heartstrings. They just want to see if they still have the same pull, same control over you. But I feel like you've moved on. You got some type of golden ticket to go and chase your dreams, and you accepted it. You're not waiting around on Bozo the Clown. Like you're moving on and moving forward, and this can't be delayed and it can't be stopped. But this person was not prepared for this change, and they want you to rethink things. But you're starting to, I feel like you've received clarity on this situation, and it sets you free. You're not lonely, you're not in doubt, you're not oppressed and depressed. Like you're free right now. It's almost like you're able to breathe, and you have unpacked a lot of baggage that you were carrying. Not even just with this person, but throughout life. It's like you almost took like a self healing journey, a self care. Like you're starting to love on you, and with that comes unpacking emotional traumas and figuring out why it is that you are even attracted to the things that were coming into your life. And I feel like clarity with this situation helped you break free from many other situations in your life. I feel like you took this as a lesson, right? You didn't see it going into the situation. There's still wisdom that you're unpacking from the situation, but you're looking at this more like a lesson. And this person, it's like they still haven't learned. They're not finished. It's like they would like to teach you a lesson for leaving them. And I'm getting that that's not a lesson that you're willing to learn, honey. You already learned enough being with them. So this person quite literally can't teach you anything unless it's the art of leaving you alone. So yeah, you've awakened to your true self, to your inner power, right? I feel like this relationship, situationship, whatever it may have been, I feel like this was something that was kind of stifling you, keeping you clammed up, not really necessarily being yourself or trying to accomplish any goals. It had you stuck and stagnant. But I feel like you have learned to find your voice, to find your power, to stand up for yourself, or to just walk away. Because even that's a form of standing up for yourself, leaving a situation that you should not be in. And because you're doing that, you're healing. Okay, you've learned to accept your past choices, even though they are imperfect. But they brought you to this point, and you didn't even think that you would make it this far. But look at you now, right? So I feel like you're not turning around anymore. You're not looking behind you and turning salty. For what? What's back there? So this person that's trying to come and like drag you back, I feel like they're not even gonna be able to find you to drag you anywhere. And even if they could find you, they can't reach you. So unless they got wings and can fly, because you have elevated, honey. You're no longer tolerating lower level energies and entities and conversations, and we're not politicking with the enemy in this season and going forward. Like we don't have anything to talk about. This person liked you better when you were your shadow self. And that's not to get it twisted, right? Your shadow self is there almost like a line of defense. But, sometimes your shadow self is not. It don't really have the sense that God gave a Billy Goat. But, this person liked you then when you were operating from your lower self. And they want you they want you to crawl back down there with them. Okay, I feel like you was never even supposed to be with them, but I guess you was having your fun, And you got tired of that. It wasn't fun for you anymore. And this person, they just can't face that because it's making them turn within themselves, and it's making them have to ask deep rooted questions that they weren't ready to ask themselves. And as they ask themselves these questions, they are starting to answer these questions, and they don't like the conversation that's being held between them, and somehow you are at fault for that. I know it don't make a lick of sense, but this is what's happening. This is what's in the energy. Yeah, they don't want you to restore yourself. They don't like that you're elevating and that your mindset is changing and that you feel like that you are free. Okay? They don't like that because they don't know what that feels like. They walk around and they wear this poker face and they act like they know, but they have no idea. So it's like they liked you being stuck and at a standstill with them. Because like I said, they don't know freedom. You know, they just they know where they're comfortable and they don't go outside of that. So for you to stray outside of that now, and since they're coming to look for you, they have stumbled outside of that or really chased you outside of that. It's like the dog trying to chase the eagle or a bird. Or is it a wolf? A wolf trying, whatever the case. It's like the dog is chasing the bird and the dog chases the bird right off the cliff, but the bird flies off. It's like that type of situation. They weren't prepared, they weren't equipped for the heights that you were going to. But they have allowed their hatred and their disdain for you and their ego to run them off of this cliff trying to chase you. But again, you've released this person. You've released those negative emotions that you had in regards to that situation. You may have gone back and touched on some childhood wounds that even caused you to feel like you needed to be in this situation, that this was a lesson that you needed to learn. And you have put up boundaries, healthy boundaries. You have taken people off the list, put people on the list, circled how you're going to deal with certain people, put stars next to, you have taken inventory of the people, places, and things in your life. And you have set boundaries now. And because of those boundaries, this person cannot get through. There's no room for them in your new world, in your new life. So, yeah, this person is being forced to look in the mirror, right? I feel like you leaving on top of accumulation of a lot of other things going wrong in this person's life is causing them to have to look in the mirror and to see their own reflection and for them to see that they're actually hurting. So they have a choice that they now need to make. Okay, they can either choose to get on their higher path or they can choose to stay where they are. But either way, they know that they can't cross that boundary. And this person may not be able to cross that boundary until they reach that level with you. And for some people, this person will never enter back into your circle. But as it stands right now, with these wounds, it's not happening. So yeah, you have moved on. You're starting to trust in your path ahead. I feel like you went through a dark night of the soul. And while you in the dark, you can't see anything. You may have saw a flicker of light, but it only flickered every now and then, just so you could see which direction to walk in. But you really didn't know where you were headed. You were kind of afraid, but you were going anyway. Okay, and that has brought you major life upgrades because you trusted in the unknown. You refused to stay in some intolerable situations and what's the word I'm looking for? And to compromise with things that you really did not want to compromise. So yeah, you started trusting the divine. You started trusting your path ahead, trusting that all of this will work out for you. This is not the end for you. You let go of any hatred, any negative emotions. You may have, uh, chosen to forgive, or you just chose to move on, but you carry no hate with you. And you've healed whatever attachment wound this was. So this may have been, you may have been trauma bonding with a lot of people in your life. But as you heal that attachment, a lot of those relationships start to fade because other than that trauma, you really had nothing in common. Yeah, so you just started taking inventory on yourself, on the people, places, and things in your life. You started cleaning your house, getting your house in order, getting your heart in order, getting your body in shape, getting your mind right, going to see that therapist, talking to that lady. Whatever it is that you had to do to put yourself on a higher elevation, you have started doing that. And since you started doing that, your heart is being, you're still guarding your heart because you should, but you're being more compassionate with yourself. You're not being as hard on yourself. You're not being your own worst critic anymore. You have become your own best friend, your own confidant. And whatever situation that you escaped from, let's just say what it is, this is something that was generational, whether you knew it or not. This is something that people in your bloodline have gone through, and maybe they have succumbed to that, but not you. And since you broke it, this cycle of self-sacrificing to be with or in communication with or in connection with others, people pleasing, this cycle ends with you. And I feel like this is a generational curse that, or a cycle that you may not have even known that you were breaking, or that you may just didn't pay attention to. Maybe this was the norm, and then all of a sudden you weren't comfortable with the norm anymore. So as you have grown and as you have accomplished this victory of loving on yourself, because baby, not many people do. They may say that they do. Everybody's on a self-love journey, but it's not about pampering yourself. Sometimes it is, but sometimes self-love is sitting there and crying those tears in the middle of the night that can't nobody see, calling out to God or whoever it is that you believe in, or even if it's just talking to yourself. But you actually accomplished wanting, caring enough about you to fix you, to love on you, to deal with you. And it has broken this cord, this tie, this emotional dependency on all of these people. It's not just this one person. There were many people depending on you emotionally to balance themselves out. But that cord has been broken. You're not entangled with any of that now. These people, this person, they're being left to deal with their own shit, they're being left to sit in a room with a mirror and face themselves and figure themselves out without being able to emotionally dump on you and you be their emotional punching bag. And again, I don't think that you realize how much you changing for yourself has changed things around you. There are people watching you. There are people taking notes, and not all of those people are bad. It's like you being the first one to go has allowed other people to at least try, right? So as you were moving, you were planting seeds. And that's not just in other people. Like you were making investments, investing in yourself. Maybe you were doing new hobbies and new whatever the case may be. You started planting seeds and weren't even fully aware. Some things you may have been, some things you weren't. But one of these seeds that you planted is about to sprout. So you got some things to look forward to. There's an open door that you're about to walk right into, and it's just going to appear. And somebody does not want that for you because they can't go with you and they can't take credit for it. And the credit that they can take, they don't want to be named as the villain in your story. So, closing this out, collective, you have learned from this pain. You have grown from this rock, almost like a rose growing from concrete. You have bloomed and blossomed into this beautiful, lively, abundant plant. Very fruitful, very grateful, right? And you've chosen to walk away from everything that made you, or not made you, but everything that you were sacrificing yourself for. You've chosen to walk away from that, and you picked you over anybody else. Okay, so that is the message. I love that for y'all. Also, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing. Thank you for all that y'all do. Any donations that you have sent, I'm highly grateful for it. But other than that, yeah, if anything else comes out, y'all know I'll be back. Love you, bye.